Fitz, you are fired up about what happened last week, specifically in Houston between the Cavs and the Rockets. Josh has been telling me for the past few weeks he was a little bit concerned about this Cavs schedule, and the Cavs had dropped a few games. Obviously, they've been plagued with injuries here over the past month, but just your takeaway as one of the best teams in the West. Josh can recall this, a team that I had predicted to be top three in the West before the year started. Houston sweeping the Cavs, who still had the best record in the East by about 5.5 games.
Yeah,
Darius Garland, just make the damn free throws. Just do that.
I would say that about Aaron Kraft to Ohio State for anyone who remembers those days.
I remember.
Oh my God! But here's the main thing: that Houston game on Saturday with the Cavs. I was there in person. The fact that the Jumbotron was showing the refs up within the first 3 minutes of the first quarter with the phantom calls on Jarrett Allen that were drawn by Sengun, that number 28 with the Rockets. All four of Allen's fouls within that first quarter and that third quarter were all drawn by Sengun. And then Tristan Thompson, shortly after he replaced Allen in that third quarter, fouls. And there was one whole sequence where every Rockets player on the offensive end was flopping forward or flopping backward or flopping to the side as they were passing and trying to nail a bucket. Because after it was an 8-2 Cavs lead to start, Donovan started out hot. The Cavs had to play so conservatively because the whistles were blowing every time a Cavs player was anywhere near. And even if they weren't, there was so many flops that they didn't call on Houston, or fouls that they didn't call on Houston. I don't rarely complain about NBA officiating because I know
which is the worst, by the way, of any of the four sports.
Of any time I can remember seeing a game in the arena in person. I'm not going to count anything I've seen on TV. Whoops, sorry, that was the worst officiated game, and I think those 3 refs or 4 refs, however many there were that night, they deserve to go back. And I'm not kidding about this. This is not sarcasm. I'm being legitimately serious. To CYO third grade basketball, they deserve to go back to that level because that was an utter disgrace of officiating.
See, I thought at first when you sent the text, I thought you were talking about the play Wednesday night when Sengun pushed Allen.
No, this is on Saturday because I didn't even.
I was working that game, Fitz. I didn't see it. But
here's the thing: there was fouls that were not even there, and and again, they were showing up the refs after the first couple minutes of the game. That's how bad it is, and that's not standard practice. They were showing them up, and that's how you know that it's bad.
Yes, but you gotta give the Rockets credit because they went into
no, I'm not giving them credit. They had the game handed to them. They had a 9-5 advantage. I'm not on Saturday. Nope. That ref crew was terrible, dude. Do you know how many free throws before I left the game was? Houston had taken 27. Cleveland only got 10 by the end of the third quarter.
Well, I'm sorry. Some of that has to be you're being the more aggressive team because Cleveland didn't shoot that many free throws.
It was because of the phantom bullshit. I'm not kidding, Brandon. This was.
But if you're going to be the more aggressive team, you're going to get the more calls.
But also, if you look at the media on the Cleveland media and some of the other media who were tuned into that game on social media, they were slamming the refs. They were slamming them.
I'm not denying the officiating.
It wasn't aggressiveness, dude. They were the refs. I'm not even convinced that they were not paid under the table. This is me again. This is just being a little bit silly to some extent, but it was so bad that it just looked like they were paid off.
This is my thing. It's one game out of 82.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that it is one game, but I want to make sure that those refs are put on blast. That was a horrible display, and if they are in the postseason roughing it all, I would be very upset if I'm a team and if they're on any Rockets games. They should not ref a Rockets game again.
So, Fitz, you know this because I told you the last time you were on Fitz on Sports, and Josh knows this because I've been saying it for the past month on this show. The Cavs were going to go for a stretch at some point this year. They were going to lose 2 or 3 in a row. Some of them they were going to get blown out by. They were going to lose by 40. They were going to lose by 50 because they just couldn't shoot that night. And everybody in the internet was going to go online and complain and say, this team isn't for real. They beat up on bad teams.
And those people are all bandwagoners.
I don't believe it. I still think this Cavs team. Now I get it. The Golden State record that I thought was potentially in reach. That's how well we
It
were
was
playing a
never in
month ago.
reach. It was not. Even despite people thinking that, I would rather not see the Cavaliers
Listen,
take that.
Yeah,
lead.
I don't. I'm
I
with
don't because you
Sean.
have the pressure. You have everything is in your head at that point. As an athlete, it's in your head. If
By
you
the
go
way,
72,
with
72
how
and
impressive both the Cavs and Oklahoma City have been this year, it just shows how impressive that Golden State season was.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Fitz,
that's
I'm fully on board with you on this one. I'd rather the Cavs go for a championship instead of trying to break the Warriors all-time.
You can do both, though, because, and this is what I've told you guys before, the NBA is not like the MLB or
do you
the
want to know
NFL.
some interesting statistic?
Hold
We're
on,
going off the
no,
track
I'm
here.
about to give you an interesting statistic, so hold on. The NBA obviously does not have wild cards. I get that. But do you guys realize in NBA history, there have only been 2 teams in the history of the sport that have won the finals that have not been a top 3 seed?
Let's see. I know who one of those are, and that's annoying me to death.
It wasn't Dallas in 2011.
No, Josh, I'm surprised you don't know this because I've told you this now like 4 times.
Let me think.
Because I was going to say it like this.
A 1-1 was way before any of us were born. Our parents may not have been born before.
Oh God! I think I have an idea, but
my mom and dad were both not alive when the first time it happened.
My dad might have been alive, but my mom probably not.
It was 1960.
Oh, my parents were both not alive then.
The Boston Celtics with Bill Russell. They were
the
4 seed. The other, our siblings might have been alive. Josh, you might have been alive. I'm not totally sure.
What was it?
Wait, the 2004 Detroit Pistons.
No.
Who would it be?
It was before the 2000s, so it was in the 1990s. I'll give you that hint.
Was it in 98 by any chance?
No.
I know. I just had to ask.
90. I'm trying to remember who won it.
I can't remember either. But here's a little thing is that, just going back to the record thing real quick. Did you guys know that under the 16-game NFL format, no team that went 15-1 has won the Super Bowl? None of them? None of those 15-1 teams won a Super Bowl?
It's good. Well,
and I see the Kansas City Chiefs as that 15-1 team, albeit a bit of a different one, but they basically play their backups in that regular season finale. I think their record's 15-1, and I think that the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, my friend.
This comment is not right. This comment is wrong.
No, the
not
Bulls
the
did
Chicago
not do it.
Bulls. It was the year before. It was the second year that Michael Jordan left the sport. It was the year he came
wasn't the Rockets,
back.
was it?
It was the 1995 Houston Rockets with Akeem Olajuwon, who was hurt most of the year. They were a top 3 seed. He got hurt midway through the year. Mm-hmm. They dropped to the 6th seed. So historically, it will tell you that if you are not a top 3 seed, you do not win the NBA championship.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some teams like Miami a couple years ago in the 2000 Knicks that have made the finals, but nobody's ever won it. So, so the NBA regular season, even though I don't love it, even though I think there's too many games, and we'll dive into it a lot more because we're going to move on to our next segment. But bottom line is, I think the Cavs are still a great team.
Yeah, they still are, and people don't worry about the losses. Look, the main thing is that Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, a bunch of your big guys, just in terms of star potential, they're healthy or healthier or getting healthy. That's a big thing. You haven't had to play them a ton, and now that you've had some of your depth tested, you're able to use them a little bit more, but still, you're able to still figure out some rotations. You have a lot of wiggle room to play with right now, and I think Cavs fans, take a deep breath and relax. All right, folks? All right.
Can we go get Cam Johnson from the Brooklyn Nets now, please?
I have no comment on Cam Johnson. I don't know what's going to happen with the trade deadline. I honestly think, to be honest, I don't think Cleveland needs to make a move, but I will understand.
Yes, they do. They do 100%. We do not have a reliable small forward.
There's
right now.
going to probably be someone on the
Leave it
buyout
there,
market.
guys. Pick it up in the Voters Live Discord.